I'm Erica Bogart, professional makeup artist, and back here with the Desire Company and about to show you how to go from day to night with your makeup look. So a quick run through of what we have today is a primer to start. I'm gonna use an oil, then we have a radiant eye cream, moving on to foundation, concealer, contour, we have a bronzer, and then a powder to set along with a blush to give you some color, a nice nude shadow palette, and a highlight for your cheeks, and then go on to some nude lips. First thing you want to do is prep your skin. So this is something I've really been enjoying using. It's Lila Bee. It's an illuminating priming oil. It's called a glow priming oil. So it is more like a moisturizer, a primer. It has everything all in one. So it's a serum as well. So I like it as 3-in-1. I just use my hands to put it on, press it into the skin. And you can even wear this by itself. So it's very conditioning to the skin. It's beautiful and it gives you that hydrated look, but you can also put it underneath foundation to make everything wear really fresh. So I really like it for daytime as well, that your foundation is gonna look a little bit more like skin and nothing too heavy. You can see there's kind of like a glow from it. It smells amazing too. And then Laura Mercier has this illuminating eye cream that I love. It just creates a nice radiance underneath the eye. So I just pat that in a little bit with my finger. You don't need a lot. I really like my skincare to go on first, and I start with my eyes with makeup so everything can kind of absorb into the skin. So sometimes when you do your moisturizers and go right into the foundation, I find that things tend to streak a little bit. So it's nice to go ahead and prep and have your skin absorb everything while you're working on the eyes and doing all the detail, and then go back to the face. So, and you can put that on your lid too. Give your eye all the love. And I'm just gonna prep a little bit with some concealer for my lid. I'm not going in with any eye primer. I have a lot of color that I wanna neutralize up there, so I'm just getting my damp beauty blender, pressing that in a teeny bit. And this will even out when I do the rest of the face. I know it looks a little crazy right now. I have a lot of darkness in the inner corner of my eye, like right in this area, and a lot of people do as well, so you really want to kind of bring that in the inner orbital. I use my hands a lot for things as well, so I just like to really blend it into the skin. I feel like the warmth on your fingers helps you just give a softer effect. Even with like shimmery products, it's just a different way that it's going to apply to the skin. You really press it in, it gives a different type of glow. I'm going to dust a teeny bit of powder on my lid just to kind of set. And then go in with a shadow. So I'm going to use this matte palette. I like using mattes during the day. I don't really like a lot of shimmer. You can do shimmer, especially like summertime, or you just want something light, something to really wake you up. It's nice to put a little pop in the inner corners of your eyes or something all over the lid. But for me, day to day, I just go with something warm. You can do a bronzer as well. That's a little trick that a lot of people do. So quick and easy. I'm just using a really full head fluffy brush and buffing that into the crease. You can see it's just a little bit of warmth. Nothing too dramatic. My everyday look is pretty simple. I mean, I don't really have a lot of time. Who does? To do a full face in the daytime. It just warms up the eye. You can put more color in the lid too if you want. It all depends on what you like for every day. Some people wear more of a dramatic eye. Me personally, I just keep it soft. But I have lash extensions as well, so that's gonna vary based upon that. Let's get into the face. I'm gonna use the Beauty Blender again. So this is damp. You need to make sure that this is damp. Don't use it dry. It's gonna soak up all your product. But I like to use the larger side, put it out there, and then just kind of press it into the face. You wanna do little bouncy movements as opposed to dragging it across the skin. It gives a really lightweight application. So you can get good coverage, but you don't feel like you're wearing really heavy makeup. So I especially like it for daytime, even evening. Just really nice to have good coverage, but not feel like you have a full cake face of makeup, you know? So just kind of put that all over the perimeter of the face. So the foundation that I chose to use today, this is the YSL 24-hour foundation. I do like a luminous glow to my skin for day or evening, but this one stays really well. So it's a 24 hours, all hours foundation. It just has a nice satin finish, even though it is a long wear. It's not super heavy matte, which I like, so it's not gonna read like I have a ton of makeup on, and I get a lot of compliments on this foundation, and it looks like skin. So just even out, especially press in around your nose. You're gonna have a lot more redness in that area. A lot of people have redness around their mouth as well. Voila. So the Born This Way concealer, this is awesome. Too Faced, I love their foundation that they came out with. The Born This Way one, this is the multi-use sculpting concealer. Sometimes I also use warmer shades and contour my face with this, and I use it on my clients. I have this in my kit. It is go-to. I love it because it gives good coverage, but it doesn't look really heavy. It doesn't dry down really matte. Sometimes you get a lot of texture underneath the eye, depending upon if you have a client that has a more mature eyelid or just yourself, or any texture that you may have. So I like to use this all over, just depending upon what color I choose. So I'm not doing anything really contrasty for daytime as a crazy highlight. I'm just kind of neutralizing the fact that I have bags and I'm tired. But doing something underneath the eye, I feel like concealer is something that can really wake you up and is a game changer when it comes to your makeup for every day. Even that one little step is gonna do so much to brighten your face. Especially if you choose to do something much lighter, you can really brighten it up and make you appear more awake. So it's one of my favorite things to do. If I had like that one product that I needed, it's always concealer to kind of wake me up. Just kind of pressing that in around the nose, like I said, for a little bit more coverage. So get everything done on here. We're gonna go into that contour. So for contour, I'm gonna use Fenty Beauty. I use these in my kit and on myself. This color is Truffle. It's a great warm brown. Doesn't read too orange, so I really like that. I find that sometimes people go a little bit too dark. They wanna have the contrast, but it's just way too orangey. And if you're a more fair skin tone, you should always go with something that is a little bit more taupe, or it looks kind of like a grayish tone when you look at it in the stick, but when you have it on the skin, it's gonna help sculpt the face and create that dimension without reading too orange. So I see a lot of people where it's definitely too dark, but you wanna start from top of your ear right here. Basically, you had a line like this. This is where you put your contour, just in this area. You don't wanna go below that. I'm just doing a teeny bit. It's daytime, not doing a lot. Want to make sure to think about where the sun is hitting your face. So you want to do something on your forehead. You can see I'm just doing a teeny bit right there in that area. Bring it down the bridge of the nose. I can even use my finger to blend this out. Since I have that priming oil on there, it's really great, and it's creating that really smooth consistency that's easy for me to blend everything. You can also go in with a beauty blender as well. Like I said, I like to use my fingers a lot for stuff on myself, more than I do on my clients, but it's quick and easy, and then you can blend out. Again, just press, don't rub. I find when you rub with sponges, you can tend to rub off the product, so sometimes people use them to remove things. The way they've applied something, they could kind of take it off with a sponge. But I just want a subtle bit of warmth, and I find that I really like to sculpt the face with cream products and then go back in with a bronzer and set it, as opposed to doing things with powders, because I find if somebody doesn't prep the skin, or they have areas that are patches of drier skin, it's gonna pick up and it'll go splotchy. So you want everything to go on even and really smooth. So you can see that created a really subtle contour. It's nothing too intense, but it gives your face that little bit of dimension for every day. And make sure you really blend in this area. And you can always put a little bit more concealer down the bridge of your nose if you want for that pop. I'm gonna go in underneath my eyes and set with a little bit of powder. This powder I've been loving. It is from Huda Beauty. It's their banana bread powder. So you can set it with a soft brush. You can use a beauty blender if you want. I just like that it doesn't look really heavy. Very jet milled. And it stays on well. It doesn't crease up like some of the other powders underneath the eyes. So you can strategically place this where you need it, on the sides of the nose. I tend to get a little bit oily in the T-zone. We all do. I have combination skin. So think about when you put that oil on and you want your skin to look fresh and glowy, you don't necessarily want to be shiny all over the place. You want it in the right places. Think about the high planes of your cheeks and where the sun would like hit your face, where you want to be illuminated. Subtle, subtle. So now going in with a bronzer. This is Fenty as well. I contour with a lot of her products. I really, really love them. I think she has an amazing shade range and the products are great. So I'm using a contour brush from Marc Jacobs. It's very subtle. Going in up into the hairline. bring a little bit up here on my forehead again. Whatever's just left on the brush, you don't need to apply a lot. You don't want to get big splashes on your forehead as well. Simple. Okay, blush. So blush brings everything to life. I feel like people are afraid of blush and they shouldn't be. So I'm gonna use a little bit of this NARS blush. Looks bright and intimidating, but it's really pretty. I just like a nice little flush, something that has a little glow to it. So everything else is so simple. It kind of just brings your face to life. And when you do blush, you wanna smile and put it on the apple of your cheek. You can bring it up if you're doing like an editorial look, obviously something different, but for every day, that's typically where you're going to want to place it. So you're gonna have your bronzer in this area, your highlight will be right here, and then the blush will go on the apple of your cheek. Next up, one of my favorite things is Charlotte Tilbury, this Beauty Light Wand. It's a great way to highlight, it's super convenient, it comes in this little tube. As you can see, I really like it because mine is low, but you can just put a couple dots on the high planes of your cheeks, tip of your nose, a little bit on the Cupid's bow. And then I just use my finger again to kind of blend all this out, bring it up center of my nose, just keep it really soft. I like using this over anything that's like really glittery because I feel like creams read more like skin and it just gives a lit from within glow. And again, I just press it in with my finger and keep it in the same area right here. So I feel like this is the one thing that I do that really brings the skin back to life. So if you set everything with powder and you feel like you look a little bit too matte, that's really nice to bring the highlight on the high planes of the cheeks, and I feel like it just brings the skin back to life. So you're gonna see as time goes on during the day when you wear it, incorporating that priming oil along with the highlighter is gonna give you a really nice hydrated, dewy, luminous finish to your skin, and that's something that I love as well as my clients. So these are some of my favorite products that I use for every day. And then going into lips, I just keep it something simple and nude. I'm gonna go with a Marc Jacobs gloss. This has just a hint of color, and I really like his glosses. They don't feel overly sticky. Just really beautiful shade. So sometimes I don't even line my lips. You don't need to overthink it for daytime. If you're keeping it super simple, 5-minute makeup, running out the door, throw in a gloss, and you are good to go. Just a hint of color. So that is fresh face, everyday makeup, flawless. Okay, now that we have aced our 5-minute everyday makeup look, we're gonna elevate it just a little bit, take it up a notch to the evening. So I'm gonna bump up the eyes and take it a little bit more, not too much, not too intimidating. We're gonna break it all down for you, but first I'm gonna recap on what I did for the everyday look. So we started with prepping the skin. We did an illuminating priming oil. It is a serum and a moisturizer and a primer all in one. We illuminated the under eye area with moisturizer from Laura Mercier, then went in with a YSL 24-hour foundation. We have the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, which I love. Contoured the face with Fenty and warmed it up with their bronzer. We set it with a Huda Beauty powder, the banana bread powder for underneath the eyes, and went in with a NARS blush. And we have the Hollywood Beauty Light Wand from Charlotte Tilbury to create that luminous glow. So that is how I master my everyday glow, fresh-faced look. For the eyes, we just went in with a matte shadow, just something to warm up a little bit. So now I'm gonna kick it up. You guys ready? These are two products that I love from Laura Mercier. I've been using these for like literally my whole career. Fun fact about me, I used to freelance with them. She is an amazing artist. She actually used to be a painter, so essentially her canvas changed and created this whole makeup line, and she has amazing products. Super talented, but I love these because they stay in place. Like these bad boys, you can put them on, you can cry, you can sweat, you can do whatever in them and they do not budge. So this is really great going into the evening because you know it's not gonna melt and it's gonna stay in place. And that's something that's always a concern for me with any darker eye look. I find that I'm always afraid it's gonna melt off my face. So I'm gonna go in the inner corner of the eye. With this color, it's just a little bit more of a champagne, like luminous. Kind of open up the eye area. You can even use your finger if you want to kind of pat this out. See, it just kind of opens up a little bit. You can even do this for every day if you want. It depends on how comfortable you are with makeup or what you're going for, but this is always a trick. If you are tired, it'll open you right up. A little bit there, and I'm gonna go with a smokier eye underneath, but I'm gonna put some of this on the lid. And again, I'm just gonna work with my fingers because you guys, we're keeping this simple. Like, We don't have time for these full face, full beat every day, so this is a quick way to take it from day to evening, still look great, and not have too many steps. Simplicity is key. So this really complements what we did before too, having the warm bronze on the lid. You can see there's just a little bit of shimmer, and then I'm gonna take it up with the brown from the other caviar stick that I have as well. She has a range of colors in these, so you have a lot to choose from. You don't just have to limit yourself to these neutrals, but these are some of my favorites. Even this with like a graphic liner or something would be awesome, just a shimmer on the lid. If you wanna keep it simple for an evening look, or something like party, holiday, nighttime. So even that by itself is pretty, right? Next step, this one, it's called Coco. So it's a rich brown. And I'm gonna just put a little bit underneath the eye, giving it that drama. I'm gonna go in with this Marc Jacobs little sharp, tight eye tool. Smudge it out a little bit. You can use your finger too if you want. I'm a fan of fingers, obviously. See, drama. And these are great. You can put them on or you can actually set something else over them too with shadow, but they are so pigmented that you don't really need to put anything else on them if you don't want to. So it's nice that you don't have to always set it. Some of these eye products, if you don't set it, they have a mind of their own and they go all over the place. So I'm bringing this on the top of my eye as well, just at the lash line, especially in the outer edge. Blend this out with a brush. A simple day to night. Smoky. So you can go in with a black liner if you want with this to really pop it. You can keep it soft on the lid and just kind of like smoke out the edges like I've done. Or you can go even more dramatic with it if you want. I personally don't like to go too dark just because the shape of my eyes. I find if I go too dark, it just makes them look too small. So I'm not gonna go in with a black liner. I'm gonna go in with a brown one, also from Marc Jacobs. Okay. So here's the gel liner I was talking about, so I'm just gonna put this on the inside of my eye. This is a rich brown, I'm not gonna go too dark with it. This is one of my favorite colors. I like to use this even during the daytime. If you wanna put something by your lash line on the top, it's just a nice, rich, warm brown. It has a red tone to it, so it doesn't read too gray, and I really like that. And sometimes I even put this all over the lid as a shadow and blend it out. But it's a gel liner, so it goes on really smooth and it stays on really well. So it glides on and doesn't tug at the eye when you're applying it. Sometimes pencils can feel a little abrasive in the eye area. Okay, now that we bumped up the eyes, that was just 3 simple products. So super easy, just took a second. So you can see you have the shimmer, you have the smoke, you're all set to go, but now we wanna take care of the under eye area. So I like to have a little bit more of a dramatic like pop with my concealer, my contour, and my highlight when it comes to evening as opposed to daytime. So I like to actually set my makeup first. So I'm gonna do a setting spray. Then I go in with a wet beauty blender, kind of powder, put it on my hand so I don't have too much, and then I press in underneath the eye. So this helps it not go on and look too cakey. I find that once you set before the setting spray, it kind of creates that moisture so it's not so dry underneath the eye. And I'm going in here with a KKW powder. This is #1 with Brighten. And it just kind of creates more lightness in that area. Then you can go with more bronzer if you want. So if you want to create a more intense contour, you can do that. You can sculpt the face more with a cream, or you can just go in with a powder. Just a few easy steps to warm up the face and give a little bit more drama. And then we take it to the lips. So lips. I still want to keep it neutral because I chose to go with a little bit more of a dramatic eye for me. One of my favorite go-tos for every day, even evening, but when you have a dramatic eye, you don't want to do too much on the lip. You really want one thing to be the focal point of the face. So one of my favorite lipsticks, this is Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury. It is a beautiful like mauve pink and it works well on so many people. So I'm gonna start with this and then I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a liner. And I like this, I put it over the gloss that I had on from the everyday look, so it gives it more of a sheer effect, but you can do it by itself as well, and it's a beautiful satin lipstick. You can see it just gives the perfect hint of color. This is great for every day, this is great for a bride, this is great to just always keep in your purse and have with you. If you want more drama, define your lip. I'm using a KKW lip liner. This is just like a neutral brown. Nothing too dark and dramatic on the line, but it just creates that fullness in the pout. There you go. So these are just a few easy steps to elevate your look from day to evening. We had 3 products on the eyes. We added a little bit more powder underneath the eye to set and pop the color, and warmed up the face along with a soft lip. Now you have what it takes to go from day to night. I can't wait to see all of your makeup looks.